Welcome back to the Aladdin Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Charlie Steiner and Dave Bontempo, and we are ready for our first fight of the night. Let's go up to ring announcer Jake Gutierrez.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Aladdin Hotel and Casino here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. As tonight, Top Rank Incorporated and the undefeated King of Beers, Budweiser, and ESPN are proud to present our featured bout of the evening. This fight is scheduled for 10 rounds in the super flyweight division. Your judges at ringside of this bout are Chuck Giampa, Dalby Shirley, and Patricia Jarman. And your referee is Kenny Bayless.
Change cards, you're on the wrong fight.
Castillo. We have a correction in the order of the bout.
Castillo and Cobos, correct?
A correction on the bout. This bout is in the lightweight division. It's scheduled for 6 rounds. Introducing, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 136 pounds. He wears the red trunks, and he is from East Los Angeles, California. His professional record stands at 12 wins against 4 defeats. He has 1 draw and 4 knockouts to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Manny Castillo. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 135 pounds. He wears the blue trunks with yellow stripes. He hails from El Paso, Texas. His professional record, 16 wins, only 2 defeats, 12 knockouts to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, Roberto Cobos. Once again, your referee, Mr. Kenny Bayless.
Young mobiles, fellas.
Dave Bontempo, the rules in Nevada.
3 knockdowns in 1 round would end the fight. No standing 8 count. Only the referee can stop the fight. 10 points to the winner of a round. 3 judges score the fight. The referee does not figure into it, and a fighter can be saved by the bell only in the last round.
Keep the fight clean at all times. Good luck to both of you. Touch gloves.
To your left, Frank.
Kenny Bayless, one of the good young referees in boxing here in Nevada, will be the man in the center of the ring tonight. Manny Castillo, 12-4-1. He was telling us this morning that power is his game, yet he's got only 4 knockouts to his credit. Roberto Cobos, 16-2, and 12 of his wins came by the knockout route.
Okay, let's go. Clear the ring, guys.
Well, Castillo says that he makes his opponent's eyes puffy, and he definitely makes their skin swell up, so he'll have an effect on the fight.
Castillo came in at the weigh-in 3 pounds overweight yesterday morning.
He had a rather novel way of solving that, too.
I'd never heard of it before. He's 3 pounds overweight, so he went back to his room and sucked a lemon for an hour.
And that was able to get him over the top there. He said you lose the water, and then later on you get the water back, and it works for him. Even though that is an age-old method, sometimes the old methods will work.
So the new diet is to go suck a lemon.
Well, that could put a lot of those companies out of business.
Pretty good right hand from Castillo. And an uppercut from Castillo.
Well, he'll be looking to plant that right-hand lead against the southpaw style. There it is again. His opponent is coming right into it.
Watch your heads now. Oh, let him up. Okay.
Cobos is southpaw.
He'll have to tighten up if he wants to avoid that right-hand lead. He's winging from just a little bit too far out. He's leaving the middle of his body open right now. Two guys for which success does not come easy. They should be pretty well matched at this portion of their career.
Castillo is 21 years old and Cobos is 23.
Let him up.
Cobos remembers getting off the deck to beat Tito Tovar, knocking down Ruben Navarez twice, not getting the decision. So he realizes that in his case, he wants his fists to be the judges.
Right hand sneaks in by Castillo.
And Castillo really doing a nice job in this round with the right hand leads. He's been able to figure that out. We'll see if he goes to the double left hooks as well.
2 minutes into the round, and Castillo seems to be winning it.
There's a retreating left hook thrown in there by Castillo, and he's gotten the most accurate punches in so far, and
Good body
Cobos
shot.
is looking for stuff.
Cobos has red welts on his left side of his rib cage. So there have been some body shots delivered in the first round.
Now, going back to the point earlier about firing from too wide, that's one area that you leave open, and he has been hurt by that in this round.
10 seconds left in the first round. Top Rank Boxing from Las Vegas continues in a moment. Good first round for Manny Castillo. Good first round for Manny Castillo as we begin the second of 6 rounds.
Well, now Castillo comes out and he goes southpaw for a second. Now thinks better of it. I think he should stay with the right hand style. It's worked for him. We'll take a look at the punches in round 1 and get an indication of how they stacked up that way. And Castillo, as we're talking about, doubling up on the connections there. They threw about the same, but Castillo was tighter, in closer, and more effective.
Hold it, step back.
Although Cobos early in the second round is narrowing the gap, moving closer.
Well, the key for Cobos is, can he get inside without paying a big price? In the first round, he did not, but if he tightens up here, bobs and weaves a little bit, then he can present some problems. Now Castillo missing a little bit there with the straight right, and Cobos gets his jab in.
Cobos looking considerably more confident here in the second round.
Now he's moving better. A little bit better lateral movement, and he's not getting caught on the tail end of exchanges like he was in round 1.
Castillo is landing the much better, more powerful body shots, and there's a solid left.
Castillo with no regard here for the power of Cobos, and he's the guy with 4 knockouts, and Cobos has 12.
Keep him up, baby. Hold it, sit back clean.
They had one common opponent named Anthony Ridges, who knocked both of these guys out 11 days apart. Back in April, Anthony Ridges TKO'd Cobos in 3 rounds. 11 days later, on May 2nd, he TKO'd Manny Castillo in 4 rounds.
So that gives Castillo the edge.
Gives Ridges the edge on both, doesn't it?
And this could be the loser's bracket to fight Ridges. At a neutral site.
Watch your hands now. Hold it, step back.
A good extension of that point is when both fighters look at the line record for that and see that
Stop punching. There we go.
they have to feel confident coming in. They figure they're at the same place in their careers and that this is a very winnable fight for each guy.
A much better second round for Roberto Cobos. But was it enough to win the second round?
Punch out of there. Come on, work out.
10 seconds. Round 2 in the books. 4 more to go. Round 3. Manny Castillo in the red trunks, Roberto Cobos in the blue, couple of lightweights. Castillo from East Los Angeles, Roberto Cobos from El Paso, Texas.
Well, through 2, Castillo with a good edge as far as punches landed. But remember, he had a huge edge after round 1, and it's about the same in round 2. Very close. Second round was very close. I gave it to Cobos. We're tight in here. Cobos has adjusted. Castillo has the power.
This has become a very even fight, and this is the most aggressive of the 3 rounds so far, early in round 3.
However, Cobos cannot make much of a living along those ropes, and he should move. Even if you fight well off the ropes, the perception you give the judges is that you're in trouble.
up, baby. Keep the punches up. Watch your heads, fellas.
Well, oh, a good, quick left hand delivered by Cobos.
They're both trying to load up for bombs here. Accuracy suffering a little bit. Cobos trying to jab his way in a little bit more. That's a smart move for him.
And Castillo's punches now don't look nearly as crisp as they did in the first 2 rounds. Halfway through round 3, and we are joined ringside by heavyweight Eric Butterbean Esch, the former Tough Man champion, who's on the card tomorrow night. Welcome.
How y'all doing today?
We're doing just fine.
Work out.
Now, Bean, are you pleased with the reception as a pro so far? You're already on a pay-per-view card.
Yeah, we're working hard for it, though, so a lot of people want to see action. That's what I'm here to do.
Castillo has a nasty cut around his left eye and looked over to the referee for a second. He will have to contend with that throughout the course of this fight now. A slashing shot by Cobos.
They have bumped heads a couple of times, and I'm not sure if that was a punch or a butt. However, over the left eye, that could be a troublesome cut.
And the key will be how it is ruled between rounds. Regardless of whatever is seen, it's what the referee sees and tells the judges at ringside and the commission that will go a long way there.
Already wiping the blood out of the eye. That could be very troublesome.
Well, Castillo can have 2 opponents now. He can have Cobos and the eye.
And his corner will have a lot of work to do at the end of round 3. Roberto Cobos, seeing and smelling blood, looking much more confident at the end of round 3. And now the corner of Manny Castillo, Joe Chavez, John Montez, and Irsi Arvizo will have a lot of work to do between rounds.
It's all right.
Okay. Come up his own.
Okay, let me take a quick peek. It's 2 pounds. Work on it.
Okay, babe. Thank you.
You gotta give all you got, man. You gotta go and throw. You gotta throw. If you're not throwing enough, you're letting him, work on that top.
You are looking at Manny Castillo's left eye being worked on by his corner. And they have a lot of work to do. And it's already beginning to swell.
Let's go, Manny. Let's go. You gotta win
Well,
this
that's in
round.
a nasty spot.
You gotta go and fight, man.
Come on, man.
You got to, man.
So we begin round 4. It's a 6-round fight. Manny Castillo, the record of 12-4-1 and 4 knockouts and 1 nasty cut over his left eye.
And it will be interesting to see how he fights with the cut. Does he try to protect it, or does he try to be aggressive and undo what's been done already? And Cobos with the edge there and finally creeping up into the 3-digit mark for punches thrown.
That was not a knockdown. But you could tell by the middle of the 2nd round that the tide was beginning to turn. Castillo had a terrific first round, but by the 2nd round, it was almost as if Cobos found his sea legs and became accustomed to the place.
Well, Castillo can make his opponents puff up, but he does not discourage them with his punching. Only 4 knockouts in the 17 fights, and Cobos is simply starting to walk through here. And Castillo has slowed considerably, which is another issue here. He's loading up with 1-at-a-time shots, fighting southpaw here, which is a tentative move on his part. He was landing right-hand leads in the beginning of the fight. For him to go southpaw now is a concession speech about how this fight is going.
And his punches are not nearly as crisp. They're looping. Signs of fatigue setting in. However, the eye has been closed up pretty well. It's not been a factor here in the 4th round, halfway through.
Cobos continuing to find the range with his jab and moving straight in.
And he's been landing the straight left as well. Left uppercut, straight left. No damage done on the last left. Cobos keeps boring in. Castillo keeps backing up and holding on.
Well, you're looking at the quasi-effects for a while of what that eye has done to Castillo as well in this round. Thinking safety first, he's in one sense taken the round off. And in a fight of this duration, you can't afford to give away a round. And it seems like he's been doing that up to this point here. And he is also tired. This thing was originally scheduled for 8. He's lucky it wasn't. It's going to go all the way to 8 rounds here.
Come on, work out. That's your shoulder.
Cobos continues to be the aggressor.
Work out of here.
Final 10 seconds of round 4. And that'll put the wraps on round 4. We've got 2 to go. And we've got one very tough man standing between, or sitting between the two of us, Eric Butterbean Esch, who was a tough man champion and has now made the transition to heavyweight. What has been the toughest part of your transition, going from the tough man competition into boxing?
Well, it ain't really been tough for me because I've been having a lot of fun with it. That's the main thing in boxing. You got to have fun when you're doing it.
Well, I would guess, and not being an expert on the tough man competition, you get away with a little bit more in the tough man competition than you can in boxing, yes?
Well, yeah, but actually tough man's easier.
How so?
Well, you got 1 minute rounds, and then in the boxing you got 3. But in the boxing, you only got to fight 1 time. Tough man, you got to fight 5 in 1 night.
Hey,
so,
Bean, tell us, you were signing autographs for 45 minutes after your last fight in Bay St. Louis. When people have come up to you, what do they say is the source of your popularity? Why do they like the way you fight?
well, because I'm an average guy and I fight just like the tough man pace. I keep a tough man pace as in, like I would in the pros. I just keep the pressure on them.
And you're a very good-looking man. So, Eric, thank you for coming on over and spending a little time with us. Good luck tomorrow night.
Appreciate it. Been a good fight.
Eric Butterbean Esch, who will be on the card over at Caesar's Palace tomorrow night. Through 4 rounds, Dave.
Well, Cobos tightening up the numbers landed. Castillo had a significant edge after the early going. Signs of Cobos' dominance. Now pay attention to those because it seems like Cobos has been winning the rounds. If you like numbers on volume, you'd still have Castillo very much in this.
But as you pointed out, it was a big first round for Castillo, and it's been pretty much uphill ever since.
And when you break them down round by round, it seems like Cobos has taken over here. And Castillo going to southpaw is a puzzling development in this bout because he was successful against the southpaw in the first round with the straight right hand.
I think Castillo got nailed with a low blow, but recovered quickly.
Look, that's a hard warning for you, okay? We both got it hard. Let's keep the punches up. Come on here, touch him, touch him. All right, here we go.
A hard for a hard, warning for warning.
Next one counts. Halfway through round 5. Who do you have winning in this fight?
I have Castillo losing to Cobos here by a couple points. Castillo winning the first round, Cobos coming on and winning the last 3. Second round was tight. 3rd and 4th looks like they belong to Cobos.
Well, Cobos keeps taking that step forward, and Castillo keeps taking the step back. We haven't seen Castillo take a step forward really since the first round.
Now, and going to southpaw, now he's back to righty. He's been in between styles all night. And it's something that Cobos is getting to him. He's not quite comfortable with the distance in this fact, and also the pace. He's being wielded around the ring here by Cobos, who has been fairly effective cutting the ring off, and Castillo obviously not used to backing up.
Solid body shot delivered by Cobos. Neither fighter off his feet. Neither even being close to being off his feet.
I have to wonder a little bit about Castillo's gas tank in this fight. He was tired by the beginning of the 3rd round and has carried it forward here. And whatever's happening now, Castillo is doing the worst thing he can do to himself by circling and not throwing punches. He's screaming out to the judges that he's in some kind of a trouble. And if the fight is close, you will lose it for that alone.
And he continues to back up and lean against the ropes, and that'll put it in to round 5. One more to go in this lightweight fight from Las Vegas. Business to attend to here in the final round of a 6-round lightweight bout, and you are looking at Roberto Cobos, the 23-year-old from El Paso, Texas, who it would appear has this fight fairly well in hand with under 3 minutes to go. Manny Castillo came in with a record of 12-4-1 and only 4 knockouts, and at no point in this fight has he hurt Cobos at all.
Well, the 5th round there, Cobos with a slight edge as far as the official countered. Castillo throwing a lot. Now, it seems that Cobos has been more effective. And those numbers are telling you that maybe the judges will see something else. Very interesting here, especially if Castillo had managed to steal the 6th round, having won the 1st round. Who knows what happens in the middle? This should be Cobos' fight.
So you've got it 4-1 now.
Got it for Cobos,
yeah,
as far as clean, effective punching. What you're seeing up there with the graphics is that Castillo has thrown a lot of punches. If the judges believe his punches have been fairly effective, he might get lucky that way.
Handed, however, to Manny Castillo's corner. He was cut in the 2nd round, and the cut has not been a factor, and it was in a dangerous place where the blood could have trickled into the left eye, but they have cleaned up that cut very nicely.
Really made it a non-factor.
Halfway through the final round. And we've got Danny Romero coming up next.
The fact that Castillo could be in this fight as far as the numbers go is amazing in a sense, because he's backed up for the last 5 rounds.
He hasn't taken a forward step since the 1st round. He continues to back up.
If Cobos would lose the fight to somebody backing up that much, he'll be sick.
Less than a minute to go in this fight. Neither fighter in serious danger tonight. But Cobos clearly the aggressor. Cobos in the blue trunks and Castillo in the red.
And will Cobos, being the aggressor, be the deciding factor in the judge's mind?
Kenny Bayless breaking him up with a half a minute left in the fight.
You have to have effective aggression to score, but as a tiebreaker, ineffective aggression is good too.
Judges like to see the fighter who is pouring in. They are a good solid combination inside the final 10 seconds of the fight. And it's over. Roberto Cobos in the blue trunks, congratulating Manny Castillo in the red. And now Kenny Bayless, the referee, gets the scorecards and the mathematics begin.
I'd be a little surprised if Cobos didn't win it. I've got him by a couple points. So we'll see how the middle rounds, some of which look close numerically, stack up to the judges. Each fighter can take something out of this fight. For Castillo, in future fights, he wants to make up his mind which style he'd like to be. He started out good against the southpaw style, then he went to the southpaw style himself and was more effective as a righty. For Cobos, if this verdict did not go his way, he would certainly get a lesson about pressuring more effectively in future fights and not letting his opponent fire back at him from the ropes.
We are awaiting the scorecard, and it's about to be announced to us by Jake Gutierrez. Jake?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we have our decision. We have a majority draw. Majority draw is decision. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a hand for Manny Castillo and Roberto Cobos?
Wow.
Well, nobody is happy. Now, as far as the numbers go, the punches landed would indicate a draw there, and a majority draw means that at least 2 of the 3 judges had an exact draw on their scorecards.
Mark Ratner, who is the director of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, is looking at the at the scorecard. You get the sense that Cobos is not at all happy. And Manny Castillo couldn't be more elated, all things being equal. We will continue our coverage of ESPN's top-ranked boxing from Las Vegas. Coming up next, Ringside Report, and then Danny Romero and Willie Salazar.